Who is the best athlete in this year's draft? Now, I know everybody's going to say Travis Hunter. Pete, what are you even talking about? Who's even close? I actually think, John, and you've talked about this too, it's great that Travis Hunter was the Heisman Trophy winner. It's great that he's going to be either a receiver or a defensive back. And there will be games where maybe he gets a few plays on both sides of the ball. I think it would be a bad move, John, if they decided, hey, you know what? Let's listen to him and allow him to play both sides. I don't think that's a great idea. I didn't think it was a great idea for any of the other guys who have tried to do that, including Deion Sanders himself. I think it wears these guys out, and that sort of accelerates the potential for injuries. But there's no doubt that he is one of the greatest athletes that we've seen in a really long time. It's why he got the Heisman Trophy, because of all the numbers. How about this name, though, John? Because you and I talked about this not too terribly long ago when everybody was going to the combine. There's a safety. There's a safety out there from South Carolina, Nick Amenwari. Now, there's a guy. Now, safety is a major position in the NFL, although very rarely do they take safeties in the first round. This guy's going in the first round. I'm going to tell you right now, and here's why, John. The highest paid safety in football right now is Winfield down there in Tampa, whose father also played. He's the highest paid. Now, those guys that are really good, they're making in the 20-plus million range. How about if I told you I got a guy who could probably play linebacker if it's a third and long? He could play safety. He could maybe play corner if you chose to. 6'3", 220-pound guy who runs a 4.3 40, 43-inch vertical. And half of the interceptions that he got this last year, he brought back for touchdowns. So this guy is a freak show. He really is, but he's not just a combine guy. This is an all-American safety at South Carolina, John, that really is unbelievable. And I think he could play linebacker. You know, half the linebackers in the NFL these days probably weigh somewhere between 220 and 230. Well, this guy's 6'3" and 230 pounds. I think he could get up there if you needed him, if you wanted him. He could be an outside rusher if you wanted him. And how's that left tackle going to feel when he looks across at a guy 6'3", 220, 225 pounds who can come around the corner at a 4.3 40? I would say that left tackle is going to start shaking like a you-know-what and a you-know-where. So I really think that this is the best athlete in this draft this year.
Well, I'm going to say you're probably right, Pete. And Travis Hunter gets the accolades, and he deserves them because, you know, he did things on both sides of the ball for his entire career at Colorado, which were pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say probably Abdul Carter would be right there with him, Pete.
Yeah.
Because to your point, you just talked about the kid from South Carolina. This is Penn State, of course, Abdul Carter. But he's 6'3", which means he's really 6'4", because we all know how pros measure. They push that ruler down on top of your head pretty hard. He's 260 pounds, Pete. He ran a 4.48 at the combine. Now, that is flying. So, like you said, you've got, can you imagine if you've got that one kid, 6'3", 225 on one side, and a guy like this, Abdul Carter, on the other side, both of them running sub 4.5s, and one of them 260 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, he has to be one of the best players available in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he's got to fit your scheme, but I really can't imagine a defensive scheme I've seen, Pete, in the last 44 years that since I played football, that had these kind of numbers that you couldn't fit into your scheme.
Yeah.
In other words, he's not just an edge rusher that's light. He's a linebacker that can play edge rusher, and he could even play Mike if he had to, Pete.
Yep.
I mean, if you needed to bring in an extra D-back and take out a strong side linebacker or whatever, you could have him play the middle and then basically go back to the 46 defense that Buddy Ryan made famous. So let's keep an eye on that guy, Abdul Carter, because a lot of people are high on him. I am. I know you are. I love Ashton Genty too, Pete, but 5'9", 200 and whatever, 15 pounds. The kid is a beast. He runs low, like you've said, but as far as an athlete, I got to say Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter.
Yep. Abdul is unbelievable. I agree with you. I don't know how flexible he is, but I think he can play linebacker outside of just being a defensive end who can come around the corner. Like you said, with a sub 4.5 40, where and I'll tell you, I stood next to him, John. He's all of 250. I mean, I think he might be more. I mean, that guy is built like you've never seen up close and very, very uncomfortable to look at. Like, holy crap, I hope this guy's okay with me standing here next to him. All right, John, next up, we got the Major League Baseball. And I just thought it would be something, you and I talk about Shohei Ohtani all the time for all the right reasons. When we talk about him, why do we talk about him? Because we've never seen anything really quite like what he's able to accomplish and the ability that guy has. But I thought it would be kind of interesting just to remind people, if the Yankees happen to be in your town, I think you still got to always go see the Yankees. And what do I mean by that? Well, Aaron Judge is special. I mean, he's somewhere, John, in that pantheon of Babe Ruth and Hank Aaron and some of the biggest hitters of all time. Now, he's not gotten to the point where his numbers are quite there. But when you watch that guy play at 6'7", 280 pounds, by the way, I mean, that is a big human being. He's another one. I was at a Twins game, John. I'm sitting down the first baseline and I'm looking at the guy just thinking, first of all, he looks like, some sort of bodybuilder. I mean, he is just chiseled. He's big as hell. And he's already, in 10 years, he's already got well over 300 home runs. He's got more than 700 RBIs. He's got a career average that's not too shy of 300. I mean, this guy is special. And I just think that as much as we love seeing Shohei and Ohtani and what he's been able to do already in an early part of his career too, but Aaron Judge, man, he's like that next level as well. I mean, he's not a pitcher. He's not all that kind of stuff, but just to watch that guy get out there on the field and do what he does, John, I think there's a good reason why the Yankees have paid him the money that they have. And it's also this year so far, the Yankees, the Mets, some of those really high-priced teams that are actually spending the money to be great, it's working this year. In years past, it hasn't worked to the point that it is right now, but we're 20 games in. It's a long season, 182 games, but it's going to be a lot of fun, John. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I think that, like I say, if he comes to the town, you got to go watch all the Yankees, but Aaron Judge is special.
Well, Pete, he's got 321 home runs, to your point. Shohei has 230, obviously not been in the league as long. What amazes me, Pete, is his speed, because when I look at, doubles or two baggers, they're both pretty close. Mm-hmm. Even though, again, Judge has a lot more home runs. Mm-hmm. But you look at triples, Judge in his career, Pete, because like you said, he is a big man. Mm-hmm. Five triples. Shohei, 37.
He's a freak, man. And he's big. He's 6'4" or 6'5" or whatever he is, and 225 pounds or something like that. He's a big man. He really is. So that's amazing. That's a big separation there.
Yeah. It just kind of shows you the speed differential. I mean, when Judge gets a double, that's impressive, of course, just like for anybody. But it's basically 177 doubles, Pete, to 168 for Ohtani. So like I say, they are neck and neck there. But then the speed differential for Ohtani to be able to get all the way around the bases to third, that takes a little extra. And that kid is also very special, Pete. So I agree. I think they both earn the money. They put butts in the seats. And that's what people want to see, is a player that can light it up like that and end a game with one swing. Mm-hmm. And they both hit for pretty good average, by the way.
Yep.
On base percentage, by the way, Pete, OBP, 407 for Judge and 371 for Ohtani. So as great as Ohtani is, especially in certain categories, Judge, like you said, is just enough better in enough of them that he's on base, basically his on base percentage 4 times out of 10. I think they pitch around him occasionally.
Yeah, occasionally, because they can't afford him to whack one out 500 feet.